All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and today we are going to be talking about B58 coil packs. This is something a lot of you guys have been asking me about for years now. Everybody wants to know, when do they need to be replaced? When do they need to be upgraded? Especially if you come from older BMW platforms, that's something that you're pretty familiar with. As you modify a BMW, your coil packs are going to be something you need to pay attention to. Now, the good news is, like a lot of things on the B58, this car has completely changed the game. It is something that is very low maintenance, not a lot required or really to think about when related to coil packs, but I just kind of wanted to answer your questions in this video to help put your mind at ease. So let's go ahead and talk about it, and hopefully you guys find this video useful. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. So what we're talking about is this. So this is a B58 coil pack, a very simple looking piece of equipment on our cars that is extremely important to better operation of our engine. Now, the way that a coil pack works is it takes the voltage that our car is running at, usually around 12 to 14 volts, and it increases that voltage so that you have enough power to ignite your spark plug. So in this case, we're actually seeing up to 45,000 volts inside of our coil pack and 130 millijoules. So extremely strong, probably something you don't want to stick your finger in when it's actually energized, but otherwise, again, very compact and simple looking. Now, the good news is these are extremely reliable, especially on the B58. They tend to work very well and last for a very long time. Something you'll even see is if you look at other platforms, they are trying to find ways to convert their ignition system to use B58 coil packs. So that should tell you something. People consider this a nice OEM plus upgrade that can support a significant amount of power. Both of my cars make over 600 horsepower. Both of them are using the stock coil packs. None of them are limited by the coil packs by any means. I even see people making 700 or 800 plus horsepower with the stock coil packs. So this is not necessarily something that you need to upgrade for making power. In most cases, you might see some aftermarket solutions like the ones from Bimmer Network, and they are advertised to make a little more power than stock. But I think the main reason people would want to upgrade them is just to get the colors. You know, if you want red or blue in your engine bay, maybe to match your charge pipe or, you know, whatever you've got going on, then that's definitely something that you can do without hurting the reliability or performance of your engine. But generally, I don't tell people that they need to upgrade them just because you have a stage 1 or stage 2 tune or an upgraded turbo or you're running ethanol. That doesn't mean that you need to upgrade your coil packs. Now, of course, shameless plug, Bimmer Network is a channel sponsor, so if you guys are interested in dressing up your engine bay, I'll have my link down in the video description, and you can use my coupon code KERN417 to get a discount on some Bimmer Network coil packs. Now, I think what's really cool is we do have a person that did some independent testing on the B58 coil packs to understand exactly what made them so special and what made them perform so well. And comparing them to like N54 coil packs, they found that it was almost double the power, and it was actually pretty comparable to aftermarket coil pack solutions for those N-series engines. So again, that just goes to show that these coil packs are extremely capable and not really something that you need to worry about if you're shooting for power on your B58. Now, the other aspect, of course, is just maintenance, making sure that your car is healthy and running well. Everybody wants to know, when should they replace their coil packs? And this is something that I don't necessarily recommend replacing on a set interval. You definitely don't need to replace them every time you replace your spark plugs or every, I don't know, 60,000 miles, whatever a lot of people typically go with. These coil packs last a very long time. I even know people with over 100,000 miles on their B58 using the stock coil packs. Now, that doesn't mean they're indestructible. It's still an electrical component that can fail, but it's not something that, you know, is going to fail really consistently and you need to do a bunch of preemptive maintenance. Usually what I tell people is when a coil pack goes bad, you'll know it pretty quickly because you'll experience misfires. And the misfires happen because if the internals of the ignition coil are damaged, then it won't spark your spark plug properly, which can cause spark blowout. So you'll have issues that will cause misfires. The annoying thing with misfires is anything can cause misfires. It seems like that's one of the most difficult things to diagnose. But the good thing is our BMWs have really high quality monitoring, and it actually pays attention to how long your combustion period is happening. So what it'll do is it'll tell you that the combustion period is out of tolerance, and that is 99.9% going to be related to a coil pack. Yes, it can also be related to a spark plug as well, but every time I've seen somebody have this issue, like myself, it was related to a coil pack. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be replacing my coil pack because I just got that code. This is actually the coil that I took out of the car. I'll show you guys how I replaced it, and we'll talk a little bit about why I think it failed. Now, replacing your ignition coils is really easy. The first thing, of course, is figure out which ignition coil you need to replace. Cylinder 1 starts at the front of the engine, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since I'm getting the codes on cylinder 2, we're going to replace the second one from the front. And then there is one screw holding it on. It is an E8 E-Torx. So we'll loosen that. Oh, this is very tight. There we go. Also, if this is loose, it can also cause coil pack, like kind of false codes where the coil pack itself isn't bad, it's just loose. So just double make sure that it's tight on there before you assume that the coil pack itself needs to be replaced. And then once that's loose, we're going to pop out the white tab, like on all the other connectors, squeeze it in, and pull it out. And then this just pulls straight out. There we go. And I can confirm on here so you can see it's BMW branded, but it's also an Elder ignition coil. So that's how you know you can just replace it with another aftermarket Elder one. Now, speaking of aftermarket Eldor, it does not come in an Eldor box. This is how mine came. And at first I wasn't sure about it, but I double checked FCP's website, and they mentioned specifically that it'll either come in a white box or a BBT branded box because Eldor doesn't have an aftermarket division. So I guess they kind of license their products under this brand to be sold in the aftermarket. So this is how it'll come. And if you open it up, there's nothing. So there's nothing on here that actually brands it as Eldor either. It just kind of has the part number and some manufacturing information on here. So we'll just assume the best. Pop this back on. Clip this back in place. And then tighten this screw back down. And you should be good to go. So yeah, good news is I replaced it and the code completely went away. So I haven't had any issues with that coil pack ever since. I don't think that my failure is typical by any means. My other BMW has over 70,000 miles now, and it's still on the stock coil packs, like I said, and a lot of people have much more mileage than me. I think probably the reason is because of my top mount turbo kit. The car only has around 30,000 miles, and over half of its life at this point has run with a top mount turbo kit. And since the turbo is so close to like the cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 coil pack, and it's even kind of close to cylinder 3, so I'll be monitoring that. But I think that's decreasing how long it takes for these coil packs to wear out. So that is my assumption on why cylinder 2 failed so early. Again, in this case, it's not that big of a deal. Just buy a replacement and install it, and I'm back on the road without any issues. But I do think it's worth noting again that a lot of people are trying to upgrade to these B58 coil packs, so definitely don't worry about it if you're on a relatively simple setup, which in our case, a relatively simple setup can make over 600 wheel horsepower. But in any case, it's really not something that's a really big risk for any B58 or S58 owner. So that's great news for those of us that like a low maintenance car, as well as those of us that like mods that are quick and easy replacements. You know, if you want to upgrade your coil packs, they're definitely... All right, so where was I? Yeah, it's great. It's great news for those of us that like a car that doesn't need a lot of maintenance, as well as a car that's easy to maintain. You know, this car can tell you if something is wrong. There are definitely options out there if you want to upgrade it or replace parts and make it look nicer in your engine bay, but absolutely not a minimum requirement in order for you to tune your car and make a good amount of power. So let me know what you guys think. If you've had any different experiences, feel free to reach out. But hopefully this helps those of you that are concerned or curious and puts your mind at ease that you can knock this off as something you don't really need to worry about. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.